Eurasian Times. 22nd of June 2023. As Manila opens up the Chinese disputed Spratly Islands for tourism, India, China, Pakistan, and the Philippines ask, is another conflict brewing in Asia? After a PLA Navy warship made a hostile port call in Manila, relations between China and the Philippines didn't appear to be thawing. But one could almost expect things to change now that the Philippines is allowing visitors to the disputed Spratly Islands. Over 100 tiny islets and reefs comprise the Spratly Islands, surrounded by rich fishing grounds and perhaps gas and oil reserves. While Malaysia and the Philippines each claim a portion of the islands, China, Taiwan, and Vietnam each claim the entire group. The Spratly Archipelago in the West Philippine Sea's northeastern region, known to locals as the Kalayaan Island Group, is home to the islands the Philippines claims. Manila has taken this chance to support its claims by allowing tourists to visit the contested islet. The Great Kalayaan or Freedom Expedition is an average 7-day dive yacht tour that costs about $2,000 per person. Tour operator Ken Huponda said, "The Great Kalayaan Expedition aims to open the vast West Philippine Sea for tourism." The participants of this first paid trip witnessed a Chinese Coast Guard occupation ship and other Chinese-owned vessels, providing an unexpected first-hand perspective of China's maritime hegemony and might. A Philippine telecom provider sent Chief Engineer Wilfredo Balajay of the yacht an automated message welcoming him to China when they were anchored at Philippine-controlled Thichu, also known locally as Pagasa or Hope Island. Balajay remarked, "I cannot grasp why the island's link is with China. I am almost frustrated by the constant Chinese presence and attitude. The Philippines are called Pagasa. What caused it to become China?" However, the Philippine Navy unit in Thichu kept pushing the Chinese ship to leave the region. These first-time visitors may have found the encounter uncomfortable, but interactions between Chinese and Philippine Coast Guard vessels are routine. Intimidation by their Chinese counterparts has been documented by the Philippines Coast Guard, PCG, on several occasions. The recent Chinese military training ship's port call in the Philippines on June 14, its final stop on a goodwill tour of four nations, signaled a Chinese lion ties as Beijing works to rebuild its fractured connections with Southeast Asian countries, significantly turning towards the U.S. This year has seen a rise in hostilities between China and the Philippines as the latter has allowed the U.S. access to four more of its military facilities as part of an Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, EDCA, that was inked in 2014. Beijing is stoking the fire of regional tensions, according to Beijing's envoy to Manila. Beijing may disapprove of Manila's decision to use tourism to strengthen its control over the disputed portion of the Spratly Islands. Although the program's goal isn't to incite hostility, the tour company told the media that it gives some value to our claim to the Kalayaan Islands. Additionally, the government may permit hotels for visitors on the tiny Thichu Island, according to Philippine Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana. The military plans to modernize the runway on the islet before year's end. Later, structures for the military and possibly some hotels for Filipinos who would like to go there as tourists will be built. Although it may seem harmless to construct hotels on one's land, Manila would face a much more formidable opponent if it did so. To put things into perspective, several Chinese ships have ringed Thichu over the years, causing unease in the area before departing and returning to the open ocean. History is replete with instances where inviting tourists and expeditions into a contested or undelineated area sparked major armed battles. A similar episode involving the two South Asian adversaries, Pakistan and India, occurred in the highly high-altitude territory of Siachen decades ago. When Pakistan allowed access to Siachen, a Pakistani mountain expedition conquered Kashmir. As with many drawn-out conflicts, it began with an unclear or ambiguous border, due to Pakistan and China's irrational existence. A German climber once showed an eerie US-drawn map of northern Kashmir to Indian Army Colonel Narendra Kumar in the late 1970s, years after India and Pakistan engaged in a war that led to the independence of Bangladesh. Narendra Kumar was the head of the Indian Army's Mountain Warfare School. In addition, this map indicated that, according to the Indian viewpoint, the Indian-Pakistan ceasefire line was located further east than he had first thought. The Siachen Glacier and a substantial piece of the eastern Karakoram appeared to have been transferred to Pakistan by the Americans, according to the map. Despite signing numerous ceasefire agreements, India and Pakistan never legally established a line of control in the far northern region of Kashmir, including the Siachen. Additionally, each side continued creating new maps representing how it saw the terrain. However, a fictitious construct known as Pakistan was the first to see the potential for bridging the strategic gap. In the 1970s, it even permitted foreign mountaineers to traverse the glacier, making it appear to be Pakistani territory. Soon after, word quickly went over the border of an expedition to the glacier that an Indian Army squad had arranged. According to accounts given by Colonel Kumar, as this team arrived in Siachen, Pakistani helicopters flew overhead and shot colored smoke. The team was now sure that Pakistan was occupying the area, and some rubbish that Indian troops had discovered belonged to earlier climbers added to that impression. Soon after, the Indian Army completed a comprehensive map of the glacier and reported its findings in a renowned mountaineering journal. The Pakistani Army decided to establish a base to solidify their claim. However, Indian intelligence helped to ensure that Indian Army troops arrived at least a week before Pakistani ones. India's successful seizure of the Siachen Glacier as part of Operation Meghdoot in 1984, followed by Operation Rajiv in 1987, marked the beginning of the conflict. India seized control of the Siachen Glacier, which is 70 kilometers, 43 miles, long, and all of the Saltoro Ridge's major passes and heights to its immediate west, including Sia La, Bilafond La, and Gyong La. The glacier valleys directly west of Saltoro Ridge were in Pakistani control. In 2003, a ceasefire deal was finally completed. Both sides still have a sizable military presence in the region, though. A significant blow in the ongoing militarization of Siachen were eventually caused by one side's discovery of mountaineering expeditions for tourists.